To get the best result, it's all about ambition, hard work, and doing the right things right. In 1982, two Dutch brothers invented an automatic way to time RC races. The system of the company, called AMBIT, was quickly adopted by pro racing series like NASCAR and IndyCar. Automated timing for mass participation sport events was also invented in the Netherlands by Champion Chip in the early 90s, giving athletes a personal chip time of their performance. In 2008, the two companies joined forces and MYLAPS Sports Timing was born. We never stop innovating with state-of-the-art timing systems and digital services to enhance the event experience. With our X2 platform, we bring motorsports timing to a whole new level with two-way communication. Our event app and photo video create the ultimate event experience for athletes and fans with live data and personal content like photos and videos. SpeedHive provides a pro-level racing experience for amateur and club events by analyzing personal data. We capture performances of over 20 million racers and athletes every year and use live data to spark emotions. MYLAPS. Experience progress.
The 2019 MYLAPS Indy Elite Series season is waning. With only 4 races left, 2 road courses, and 2 ovals to determine the season champion, drivers are on edge and pushing for every last inch. At Richmond, Team Sadi struggled with accidents for all of their cars. The Spark VR team ran nose to tail for the majority of the event, but it was Adam Blocker who came out on top after the short track duel last week. Sebring, Kansas, Road America, and Fontana is all that's left for drivers to try to catch Blocker, who is currently pulling ahead in the championship, nearly 2 races ahead of Henry Bennett. Tonight, the Sadi GP heads to the state of Florida and Sebring International Raceway, where the course is as flat as it is challenging. 17 turns and 28 laps lie ahead in the 2019 MYLAPS Indy Elite Series Sadi GP, presented by the Coca-Cola bottling plant of Kokomo, Indiana. Welcome to SimTV. My name, of course, is Kyle Hire, joined tonight by Finian Acuna for the 9th round of the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series season. Finian, tonight, a track that's brand new to the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series, one that they've never run before, a challenging flat track in the state of Florida.
Yeah, we have seen a few races, though, with the IndyCar at Sebring. This is not entirely new combination to us, but a new combination for these drivers, and I hope for their sake they got the setup right, because if you get it wrong, oh boy, you're in for a long night.
Absolutely. So there's a look at Sebring International Raceway. And again, we're going to take a better look at this track here in just a moment. But looking down from high above, this racetrack is an old airfield, Finney, and that's the big discussion about it all the time. Built on concrete runways and taxiways from World War II Air Base. And this place is bumpy, and we're going to talk about that all night. But let's take a quick look at our track map for tonight's event. And really the characteristic of this place, Finney, it's flat as the rest of the state of Florida. There is almost no elevation change. I'd say there's probably more elevation change in one curb around here than there is around the entire racetrack.
Yeah, it's an extremely flat track, obviously being built on an airbase. You would hope that it is flat. So yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of challenge tonight. These guys can't rely on any banking or have to do with any elevation change. It's purely just the amount of grip they have on the car and on the tires.
Yeah, a couple high downforce corners here as well. Turn 1's going to be flat, almost maybe 5th gear, probably 4th through there. Then turn 2, a slight kink back to the right. Turn 3, a hard left-hander. That'll be in 2nd gear. Then turn 4 and 5, setting yourself up for a little bit of a back straightaway through the long right-hander into turn 6, and then down to the hairpin in turn number 7.
Yeah, and turn 7 is going to be a really big spot. We could potentially see a few wrecks happen there as the guys get a little bit too greedy. And then coming up to the next part, pretty much that middle sector, a lot of big rhythm section that you need to get right.
Yeah, and if you make a mistake in one corner, it'll probably haunt you for most of the rest of the lap. Then through turns 10 and 11, another passing opportunity, setting yourself up for turn 13. That is all focusing on corner exit. Don't hit that big apex curb on the right-hand side. It'll hurt you. Through turns 14 and 15, setting yourself up for turn 16, another long straightaway into turn 17, known as Sunset Bend, because it's the end of the lap, and you got the west-setting sun there as well to keep your eye out for. But 17 turns around this 3.7-mile racetrack, Finian. I think the bumps are going to be the big discussion. How are your dampers set up? How is your car set up with the downforce level that you have? I'm not really sure how you're going to build up this race car to run tonight. I would focus a lot on some of the slower speed corners here, but there might be some that set up for the faster corners as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see, who's been better with the setup and who hasn't been, especially also setting it up just for the bumps in general. Very, very bumpy road course, probably one of the bumpiest in North America, or at least in the U.S. Because, again, with the old service, I don't think they've repaved this track at all since it's over. Maybe once, I think, in the 70s.
I think some of the asphalt sections have gotten some care, but you see Lichtenberg going off track there in turn number 16. On the long back straightaway, there's a bunch of drivers setting qualifying laps right now, but Adam Blocker, let's talk about him for a second. Winner last week at Richmond, has won a couple races here this season, and take a look at the point standings. He walks in 106 points above Henry Bennett. He's 2 races ahead in the points, and there's only 4 left in the series.
Yeah, just to give you guys an idea at home how far he is ahead, and the maximum amount of points you get in a race is 55. In a normal race, is not including the double points event. We got one coming up that will be the finale at Auto Club. That'll be double points, but you get 50 points for winning, maximum of 55 available. So yeah, he's pretty much 2 races ahead, a little bit shy of that, ahead of his teammate Henry Bennett.
And again, really, there's not a whole lot of other drivers that you could consider in the running because they're all pretty much equally behind. It's a great race for second place right now, but for the top spot, really, Blocker has it. So tonight is all about just protecting. You're heading next week to a little bit more familiar racetrack, Kansas Speedway. Maybe a bit of a question mark around the IndyCar as a whole, but I think ovals is where Blocker has excelled this season. Looking down the list of other drivers that are entered, a new name that we haven't seen yet this season is Nicholas Rasmussen in the number 71 Spark VR machine. Another Spark VR entry. They got the whole rainbow covered this week.
Ooh, there's actually a little bit of a newer paint scheme on there.
Got like a camo look to it, which looks really cool. As he heads through, he's currently second on the board with a 1:39.739 is his best lap so far. So qualifying 3 minutes left. Again, it's a road course. You tend to see more drivers out for longer than you do at an oval. Henry Bennett, again, chasing Adam Blocker in the championship. Has a lot of work to do, but look at how fast they enter Sunset Bend. And look at all the bumps right there. You see how violent it is on this chassis. The setup is going to be incredibly important alongside the driver skill as we normally see.
Across the line for Henry Bennett. It's going to be a 1:39.8.
Ooh, puts him third quick. And ahead of Adam Blocker by a couple spots. Whoa! Big slide into the Armco out of turn number 1 for Henry Bennett.
Yeah, and that's going to be it for him. He's not going to have enough time to put a second lap down.
Well, he just got off the racetrack, but one driver I'm keeping an eye on is Riley Thompson in the 58. Was just won a Fuel IndyCar Series race last Thursday at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. I don't want to say they're similar, but they share a little bit of similarity here in the fact that they got tall curbs and you're threading the needle through a lot of the racetrack.
Yeah, and also, again, very flat. Another very flat track as well. A little bit of elevation more than this, but not a whole lot.
Tim Doyle in the number 11 working his car up to pace and on a setting up for or currently on a flying lap. Lap times here about 1:40. Again, we got a 28-lap race. This is not going to be a very long race. Probably about 45 minutes, all things said and done. Talking about pit strategy here, Finian. Probably 2 stops, we're thinking.
Yeah, and I just jumped into a car just to kind of see how much the sim gave me as an estimate. It gave me 13.8. So that's just below halfway without even getting on the track. And usually once you start to get on the track, it even goes further down. So if guys are feeling if they can try to stretch the fuel, they might be able to pull off 1 stop, but definitely probably looking at a 2 stop.
Tim Doyle comes across the line for his qualifying effort. What's it going to be? I think that might have just been a start to a lap. Oh, no, it was not. Yes, I think it was just a 1:43.047. Might have just been a warm-up lap here.
Well, unfortunately for him, that's all he's going to have. He's not going to be able to make it back in time.
Yeah, again, closed qualifying. You only get the time that's allotted on the board. There's no cooldown period like there is with open qualifying. So the field working their way through qualifying, and notice a lot of cars are not making a qualifying effort. Ray Kingsbury, who's 3rd in the standings, not making an effort. Brennan Lichtenberg in the 10 is on a flying lap right now.
Should be able to finish it. Granted, he doesn't make a mistake on a few more corners left.
And these curbs through the turn 14, 15, 16 area, these are treacherous because you can easily high center this race car with how low these things are and how tall those curbs are. You can't get too greedy there. You're going to get your floor up on top of those curbs and you're just going to go for a ride.
see where Lichtenberg ends up.
Oh, look, I just can't get over how fast they're entering Sunset Bend, bouncing over the bumps through that section. And a big slide and into the fence on corner exit. That'll be the end of the qualifying effort. Yep, and that's going to start him at the tail of the field. That's going to be a long way for him to go. Liam Quinn in the 44 working his way through the final corner.
Finish his lap here as he comes across the line. 140.8. That's gonna. I don't think that's gonna. It's not an
improvement. His best lap of 140.761. Tim Doyle still out on course in turn 16 right now. He will not get back around to the start-finish line. All right, so we talked about curbs in turn 14 through 16, but I guess that's not to take away from the curbs everywhere else. You cannot run wide in this race car here tonight. You're going to go into a fence, you're going to go over a curb, and you're going to spin yourself out.
Or into the grass, and there's a decent amount of it in some places, and definitely don't want to get in there. Lack of grip. But yeah, the walls too, you know, a lot of people don't realize wall's really close here. There's not a whole lot of leeway in some of these corners.
Yeah, so they're looking down at the racetrack again. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see that Sunset Bend right in the middle of your screen. That bridge, that's just past the start-finish line. Then on the kind of middle right of your screen, look at all the rubber that's congregated in turn number 1, Finney. And I think that's going to have a significant impact on performance of your race car. If you get out of that groove, you'll get yourself into marbles and probably run wide as well.
Yeah, that's a corner where you can definitely take multiple different lines, but again, you got to be careful, especially on the start, which is going to be pretty treacherous here if you're not careful.
Let's take a look at our track conditions tonight. 82 degrees in the air, 104 on the racetrack. Now, the saving grace here is that concrete generally isn't quite as temperature sensitive as asphalt, so we really shouldn't see these conditions changing all that much throughout the race. Mostly cloudy skies, though, so this track should have a reasonable amount of grip. I don't expect people to slide around a whole lot tonight unless they get themselves into trouble. Now, speaking of trouble spots, we're looking at one. Turn number 1. You got to get yourself right up against this wall. And open wheel cars, there's no fenders to protect your suspension. If you scrape the fence, it's going to be pretty much night over for you.
Yeah, no, again, too, also the fact no caution. So even if you make a mistake, you can't be expected for a caution to come out. I don't believe they are going to throw a caution if something does happen, but
I imagine only in a very extreme circumstance will we see.
And we're talking like half the field taking out extreme circumstance, which would only usually happen on the first few laps. So after that, you're pretty much on your own, and if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. And you're going to have to try to make up for it in the later part of the race.
Yeah, taking another look at our race distance tonight, sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling Plant of Kokomo, Indiana. 28 laps, 100.7 miles. So really, this is all strategy race. There's no yellow flags to slow your progress tonight. All focused on pit stops, all focused on the drivers around you. I think the start of this race is going to be incredibly frantic because how wide this front straightaway is, but that is not an invitation to dive bomb into turn 1. You have to be careful.
Yeah, and it's deceivingly wide. We can actually go back up to the static blimp cam. And just to take a look, I don't know if we're... Oh, yeah, we can't... Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see, but turn 1 is deceptively tight or big on entry, and then it narrows down extremely wide, to an extremely small width for the track. And we'll see here as Henry Bennett comes through. You can see you can fit probably 5-6 cars on entry.
Yeah, on entry, and then you get down to the apex, it's about 2 lanes wide of usable racetrack, and you see right against it, there's actually a cone in the fence, which is really determining where your apex is, and that's just a visual aid because that corner is so wonky. Let's roll through our starting lineup here to start the night. On the front row, Joshua Chin, home track for him from Florida. Nicholas Rasmussen, not a native of here, from Scandinavia, in the number 71, starting on the outside of row number 1.
And moving on back to row number 2, Henry Bennett in the 007 is going to be trying to chase down his teammate. And the point standings doing a good job with that. It's starting in 3rd and 4th. Flynn Lazier will be starting in the 4 car.
5th place points leader Adam Blocker in the 74. He's had a rock solid season. We'll see what he can do tonight. Frank Levick, the 4th in the number 77, starts 6th in his orange Spark VR car.
Moving back to 7th place, Riley Thompson in the 58, up there inside the first 4 rows. Outside of him in 8th will be the 14 of Andrew Kinsella.
In 9th, Liam Quinn in the number 44 had a solid run last week. The number 40 of John Downing starts in 10th on the outside of row number 5.
Moving on back to row number 6, Joe Branch in the 28 will be starting on the inside lane, and outside of him in 12th will be David Adams in the 88 for Sadi.
13th and 14th, that's row number 7, Adam Plunkett in the number 20, one of the Sadi cars that had a miserable week last week, trying to turn some luck around. He's from California, starts alongside Rob Powers in the 47 from Indiana.
Back in 15th, Tim Doyle will be starting in the 11 car. I don't believe wasn't able to finish his qualifying effort. Outside of him, Niall McBride in the 41 will be starting in 16th.
Dan Lee Ench in the number 52. He'll start 17th right alongside the 55 of Marshall Stanley.
Back in 19th, we have Simon Bryant in the 22 from the Northwest, and outside of him, in 20th will be Andreas Ike in the 76 from Scandinavia.
A couple more rows to deal with here. 21st and 22nd. Andrew Wood in the number 32 has had an up and down season on all sorts of places in iRacing. Brennan Lichtenberg didn't get a qualifying effort in. Starts 22nd in his number 10.
Yeah, we saw he was so close, hit the wall though before he completed his lap. Starting in 23rd, Janet Simpson in the 42 from Texas will be starting in the inside lane, and outside of him will be Matt Kingsbury in the 21 starting in 24th.
All those Spark VR cars have that new camo livery on them this week, looking pretty good.
I was going to say, I guess for Veterans Day.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is tomorrow, November 11th, as we roll back up towards the front of the grid as the rest of the field comes on through. Dakota DiCienzo bringing up the tail end of the grid here. At the front of the field, though, it is the number 93 of Joshua Chin. Remember how close he was at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course earlier this year. Ended up losing that race by basically the width of the front wing.
Yeah, and within the last 100 feet of the track, not even. It was extremely close for the finish there, and I'm hoping he's probably going to try not to repeat what happened there.
Yeah, he just wants to go out and win this race. He's got a great starting spot to do just that. As we head down the long back straightaway, slipstream going to be extremely important here tonight, and then setting yourself up for Sunset Bend. This is such a challenging corner. There's about 6 ways you can take it, and I don't even think any of them are really good ways. It's just an awkward corner to go through, and there's just bumps left and right, kind of a straight entry right up against that wall on the inside. But it'll be Joshua Chin on driver's left, entering turn number 1. 28 laps for the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series Sadi GP, presented by the Coca-Cola bottling plant of Kokomo, Indiana. And here we go. Green flag flies, racing in Florida.
Everyone filing over to the right side of the track, entering turn 1.
Make no mistake, this is a challenging corner. Do not throw your race away in turn number 1. So far, so good. A little bit of argy-bargy in the mid-pack as they try to get sorted out. There's the 14 of Andrew Kinsella way outside. Gets on the curb. Quinn has to miss him, and they all somehow make it work. Look at the number 71 and Rasmussen holding a pretty line on the outside of Henry Bennett as they work their way through turn 6.
And also Adam Blocker trying to stick his nose up inside his teammate, trying to take 3rd place away from him, down to the hairpin for the first time.
Wow, that got a little bit dicey. In he goes. He'll have to settle for 4th for now. Behind him, I think that's Marshall Stanley in that yellow number 55 as he tucks into line. And tense moments here. This is probably the most risk that you have this entire race is on the opening lap. Look at that. Who is that on the inside? That's the 4 of Flynn Lazier, the red Spark VR car, taking a spot away from Adam Blocker, putting him back to 5th. And Sadie looking to turn their night around after Richmond last week was a miserable round for them. And off to a decent start with the number 20 sitting in 13th, looking to climb forward.
So far, so good on the start. Doesn't look like we had any incidents.
Car out a little bit wide there. That was Ray Kingsbury in the 25.
Also, look at his wing. His wing's been torn up already.
Yeah, could have been a curb, could have been another car, but you don't want to be fighting wing damage early, especially not at a racetrack like this. We go up to 3rd place. Henry Bennett, Flynn Lazier chasing each other down the back straight.
And tries to do a block on Lazier, can't get it done. And Lazier and Bennett are going to be side by side down into Sunset. And there you see Bennett going way wide.
And he's going to have to go, whoa, he's almost in the fence! Oh. And the 4 spins right in front of the field of the exit of Sunset Bend. Everyone scatters to try to miss him, but Lazier with big damage here on lap number 1.
Yeah, he's going to have to come to the pits and unfortunately just miss pit road entry.
Oh, that's going to be a long lap. It's going to be a long lap for him. And it's forced everyone to scatter right behind. There is the 41 of Niall McBride trying to get to Tim Doyle. But a dramatic opening lap there is Frank Levick, the 4th off course in turn number 3.
Pulls it behind Liam Quinn. He'll be sitting in 8th. But that was an interesting thing there with Lazier.
Yeah, just got in and got in too hard and hit the bumps wrong. And it's so easy to do that. You see Kinsella pop out of line, take a look at Thompson.
It also looks like Bennett didn't get as much damage as we thought. It looks like the sim repaired his wing.
Yeah, well,
so
I think
good.
I think Lazier is really the one we got to worry about.
Yeah,
It started up inside the top 5 in 4th place, now back to 13th, and he's going to drop quickly to the back of the order. Now, strategy call here, Finian. You said earlier you can almost go to halfway. Still going to be a 2-stop strategy, but I don't think this night is completely lost for the 4.
Yeah, I was going to say if he can come in and I guess try to repair that car. I don't know if he's going to have any required. He's definitely going to have required for the wing, which is about 5 seconds. I don't know anything more for that car.
I don't think he has any floor damage to the right or left side.
The floor and the suspension looks fine. It looks like it's just body work in that rear wing. So if anything's just dealing with aerodynamic loss. Oh no! Gets into one of the Sadi cars.
That's Adam Plunkett in the 20. And Plunkett goes around for a loop, and now he's picked up some damage. And he comes to a stop. And is that it for the 20. Gotta look at this again from up above. What happened here? Dives in, just, wow, just runs into him there. So that was big mistake on Flynn Lazier's part. That could pick him up a penalty. But unfortunately for Plunkett, the bad luck continues. This is your leader, Joshua Chin. Look at the lead he's got. Only a couple laps in. 4.4 seconds over Nicholas Rasmussen. Then it's Bennett, Blocker, and Thompson, the rest of your top 5.
Looks like they're somewhat sorted out, so it's pretty much a race for second place at the moment.
Yeah, there's Lazier in pit lane.
And he's gotten even more damage, so this is going to cost him more time in the pits. So I'm interested in seeing how long he actually does stay in the pits. Keep an eye on his situation.
Tim Doyle in the number 11 started in 15th, only gained 1 spot. So progress a little slower than I would have thought for the 11. But right now, try to work over that gap to Andreas Eick, but he's got Niall McBride all over his rear wing here. Riley Thompson in this 58, a bit of a bobble on the brakes. Down into, I believe that's turn number 8 over there.
Yeah, that's a little bit sketchy there, especially when you have someone right up behind you. Andrew Kinsella running in 6th at the moment.
Or turn 10, rather. Always a confusing moment there as you see it. David Adams, another Sadi car, Finian. And the bad luck just keeps coming for that Sadi team. Well, to come back quickly live, Logan Simmons has also gone around, I think, in the same corner. Let's go back and see what happened to David Adams. And I think he might have just outbraked himself.
There's no one around him. Oh yeah, just misses
way
zone
late
completely.
And went off course, took out some cones. I think Simmons did the same. Backup line, though, he's in 17th after starting in 12th.
It looks like Lazier is out already and back on the track. Curious to see how long he spent in the pits.
Yeah, still on the lead lap, didn't lose a whole lot of time. I'll take a look. It was a 46-second pit road endeavor. 23 of that was spent in the pits. Not too bad, I'd say.
Could still rebound. They fixed that car actually pretty much back to where it was for the most part. So
good battle for 4th, though. Adam Blocker in the 74. All he's got to play is just protection. Just don't crash yourself out the next 4 weeks. You're going to be the champion.
Yeah. Especially, too, if he can finish close to his teammate Henry Bennett. And, yeah, if he can actually expand that lead even more by California, when it's a double points run, if he can finish 110 points ahead, he'll lock up that championship. Speaking of a lockup, a little bit of a lockup for Kinsella.
Kinsella had those tires going the other direction, trying to slow that car down, moves himself up into 5th. A strong start for the 14. Up 3 spots in the first 4 laps.
Adrenaline Motorsports 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the moment. Great run for them.
And Riley Thompson, again, was so impressive earlier this week. Strategy-wise, in the Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series on Thursday, won that race at Montreal. And 6th place right now. Jump back a little bit deeper in the field. A couple other battles going on. How about Ray Kingsbury and David Adams? Kingsbury's got some damage on that front wing, and I don't know what the plan is. It doesn't really seem like it's hurting him all that bad. Running a little bit quicker than the drivers around him.
It's curious to see what he wants to do here. I mean, he could try to take that first stop early and then just run longer on the 2nd and 3rd stint. Depends on, again, how he's feeling in the car. If he feels like he's hurting on the downforce.
But he's getting a little greedy on the curbs, and typically you use the curbs to help your car rotate in a stock car, but in any car, you get your front tire over the edge of that thing, you're going to spin yourself out, so might be feeling a little understeer and trying to aid that situation.
Yeah, although it does look like, speaking of understeer, it doesn't look like he's losing anything with the damage to the wing, so surprisingly so.
Very different lines into Sunset Bend, and Kingsbury's out a little bit wide, but we'll have to tuck it back in on corner exit. Up the road, you see Marshall Stanley trying to close down on Tim Doyle. That's a battle for 13th place.
Here, Blocker closing in, or looked like he was closing in on Henry Bennett. Made a mistake.
Oh, car off. Andrew Kinsella behind him in turn number 6. That's a weird place to go off. I think he might have gotten the curb out of turn 5. And, oh, actually, no. Here's a look. We're right on board.
Coming through this section here really tight and setting out for that middle straightaway.
And
but just comes out of the corner here, gasses it up a little bit too much.
And just throttles up and does a good job recovering and not making that a bigger problem, but loses 1, actually make that 2 spots, and he'll drop to 8th. Niall McBride in the 41 around. I think this is in the hairpin.
Yep. Get that car going back in the right direction. Doesn't look like he had any damage. I'm curious if he might have had help. Here's Ray Kingsbury.
And Kingsbury this season has had a couple different run-ins. And no, this was all on the 41, I believe. Locked it up, just spun it out. And a slow, lazy spin for the 41. So So back up at the front, nobody challenging Joshua Chin right now. He's setting a fervent pace. Last lap of 140.263, an average speed of 129 miles an hour.
Yeah.
These guys are making a lot of speed around here.
Yeah, and he specifically is making a lot more speed over anyone else. No one's gotten really anywhere close to that. The next fastest time I can see is 40.8. So he's running a good half a second or so faster than everyone else.
A little dicey back here for 6th. That's Liam Quinn and Frank Levick the 4th. In the number 77, chasing him down. How much does Aero Watch play a factor tonight, Vinny?
It definitely plays a big bit, especially see through corners like that, a high downforce corner specifically. Through a section like this where it's really tight and low speed, it's not going to be as big of a difference, but you saw through turn 1, Levick go a little bit wide. So you got to definitely counteract that.
We see the 44 jump up on curb on the corner exit. A little bit nerve-wracking when you do that, but you see how bumpy it is in this track in the first and last sector specifically, and Levick's going to take a look down into the hairpin. Backed out, but it spooked the 44. He'll get a run to the inside, and they'll drag race out of turn number 7.
I saw 3 different decisions there. He thought, I'm going to go for it now. Okay, I'll go for it.
Didn't commit, but he's still going to be racing him side by side into turn 10.
He's got the preferred line to the next corner, although Quinn's going to try to outbrake him on the outside. They're both side by side, and Kinsella in behind trying to pick up the scraps.
Yeah, now remember, Kinsella spun out a couple laps ago, was ahead of these drivers before, so we do expect that he's a little bit quicker and chasing from behind. Oh, the 77's out wide, might have just tagged the grass, and he'll slip that spot back to the 14.
Yeah, missed the corner. He's going to drop back. No harm, no foul, though.
No, Andrew Wood's gone for a loop in the hairpin as well. And this was actually an incident, I believe this might have been with Logan Simmons. Whoa! Simmons locked it up, and he might have gotten some help from Matt Kingsbury in the 21 as they were slowing for that collision.
Yeah, let's actually take a look onboard with Chad Simpson. He got a fantastic view of that whole ordeal.
Wow.
Cars everywhere.
Did a good job getting around that. Now, does Kingsbury have a little bit of wing damage here? After, I think he just got tagged at the end of that. But here's a look, and it looks okay to me. Maybe a slight bump and scrape, but really shouldn't be anything too shabby.
Might have some damage to the floor. Yeah,
a little bit on the right side. That's going to hurt probably as much, if not more, than the wing will.
Yep, and cannot fix that.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Back up for 6th place, Liam Quinn, Andrew Kinsella. And Kinsella's so good through this section. I think he spun out because he was so fast through this section the last time
the run he
around.
gets out of here, and then down this middle straightaway here leading up to the hairpin. If he can get enough of a run on Quinn, he's gonna have a little bit of a peak here. It's gonna be a deep dive in the brakes.
Nope. Well, car spun out, and that is Riley Thompson in the 58 out of 5th place. And this has been a trouble spot tonight.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. Heavy braking zone for a lot of these drivers. Easy to miss your mark.
And does he get the grass maybe on entry as well? I think that he might have just clipped it.
I think he just got too hard on the brakes.
Yeah, it's locked him up, and it's so counterintuitive. You think you want to be on the brakes as hard as you can, but you know, there's definitely a threshold. If you go over that, you'll spin yourself out. Andrew Wood is in the pits, receiving some damage repair, maybe just a pit stop. Now let's talk about strategy here for a second. If you're Joshua Chin, you're leading this thing, does it even matter what you do, or are you just kind of watching the guys behind you?
I mean, really, if anything, for the tires. So I would say with the amount of pace he has, I would definitely go with the 2-2. I don't even try to stretch it again. I don't think that they can. But if it is an option maybe for some of these guys back here, they might want to stretch it and pull a strategy game, but we'll see. With a 2-stop strategy, expect these guys coming in around lap 9, lap 10. So we'll see when these guys come in, if they come in the next 2 or 3 laps.
We'll see some pit stops here in just a couple moments, but another car that looks slow, Niall McBride, he's way out. This is, I think, the entrance to Sunset. Oh no, this is actually turn 16.
He was way out there, I think.
Yeah, oh no! Logan Simmons, big impact out of turn 16, and that'll be end of the night for the 75. Wow. So a couple issues there, and we were really on the 41, I believe was the car that we first saw go out, and here is a look how easy this is to make this mistake.
Yeah, I think just clip the second curb here. Nope, yeah.
Just rode on it, yep, and just spun it out. And you see the 75 is going to enter this shot. In a similar situation, and he's going to just get on the exit and spin it out and cram that wall. I do want to go back and look at this in slow motion here as this 41 goes over the curbs, and how interesting this is to watch. Look at this thing just ride on the floor.
Yeah. And it was a rejoin when he just was starting to rejoin the racing surface. Watch I believe it is the.
Now watch this right here.
He's right rear.
Yeah, he's just sliding on top of the curbs, and he's just going to clip it with the left rear tire, bounces the car, and that's what spins it out. So kind of a wild ride there for McBride. But I mentioned earlier that those were going to be an issue tonight if you got yourself up on them. So you can't get too greedy. You see Dakota DiCienzo spun around. This is actually, I believe, out of turn number 10. No, where is this?
I don't know. It's really hard to tell some of these corners. A lot of the track looks the same. Looks like, I think 3 or 4? I can't tell.
This is actually...
Yeah. So I think
it is turn 3. You're correct about that. That was a tricky one to find. There's not a whole lot of landmarks around Sebring for dozens of miles.
Yeah, unless you know where you are, it's really hard to tell from some of the corners if someone's way off the track. Looking now at Remington, defending from Bennett and Blocker, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Leader Josh Chin 7 seconds up the road.
Yeah, he's making this look easy tonight. 20 laps to go already. 32 minutes left in this race. Again, a short one tonight. As Rasmussen hangs on to 2nd place. Andrew Kinsella was a little slow here. I think it was just he dropped a couple spots, or is that where he was? I think he just spun himself out.
No, yeah, because he was ahead of Levick.
Well, we have the ability to look at it, so let's do that. And oh yeah.
Oh.
I knew something was up. There's a look at Kinsella, was right in front of Liam Quinn, had actually worked his way back into 5th. And right here, spins out. Too much throttle for the 14 tonight, and just misses the tire barrier.
Yeah, this section, this little section here, 2, 3, 4, and 5, he's been really struggling.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, when he doesn't crash, he's fast through it, because he's got that car on the edge of control with the throttle, and he just goes a little bit too much now and then and spins the car out. But yeah, he'll continue in 8th.
You know, I think for now the goal is going to be to try to get back past Liam Quinn, because 4th, 3rd, and 2nd are way up the road.
Simon Bryant in the 22, Sadi car up towards the front of the field, but again, they've just had a miserable couple weeks. Right now, a good run up 10 spots since the start of the race, and enjoying this position right now. Probably wants a little bit more though. So the field is kind of spread out a little bit as people start to build up their...
71 of Remington into the pits, Blocker into the pits.
And Bennett going to follow as well. So a couple... Ooh, Bennett's got some wing damage.
Oh, yeah.
And now, is that from before?
No, that definitely is... Oh, listen, no, I don't
think... I mean, I thought he got hit with the right side.
See if we could quickly go back and just kind of see if he did get this... Oh, no, that's definitely not from before.
Yeah.
He's missing the entire rear...
Yeah, this is from recently, I'd have to imagine, right?
I was curious because he was a little bit further back from the 71 and also Blocker.
Help me out, where'd he go? There he is. Oh, yes. I think we found at least some issue.
I think this is a separate thing.
Was it? Why am I struggling? It's really hard to get him during a pit stop sequence, but this is actually after he's gotten this damage. Goes through into turn 15 and just spins out, so he's struggling with that race car. Now, where did this damage... Oh, right here. Oh, he got hit by Blocker over in turn number 10, so Blocker drilled him in the rear, and that's what gave him all this wing damage. Here's another look.
Yeah, this is the lap right before they came into the pits.
This is just now. You see Blocker's going to miss the braking zone by a mile and just absolutely obliterate his teammate. Wow. 1st and 2nd in the point standings, and they've gotten their cars repaired, but it's going to hurt Bennett a whole lot more than it hurt.
Yeah, he had to spend a lot more time in the pits getting that thing all fixed back up, and he lost a lot of time to Blocker. So
that's team meeting will be fun on Monday. But it's still Joshua Chin out up front, Finney. Can anybody stop this man today? I mean, he was denied at Mid-Ohio. Can anyone do it tonight?
Well, considering we just saw 2nd and 3rd make a big, or 3rd and 4th make a big mistake, it's only really Ramnison left in the charge who has not made a mistake to try to catch back up to him. Blocker might be able to as well, but even he had to spend some time getting that wing fix. So major mistake there.
Liam Quinn on pit lane from 3rd place in the number 44. You see Riley Thompson, he spun out earlier into the hairpin trying to recover his night. Again, strategy-wise, I'm watching this 58. Coming off his recent win in Montreal on Thursday. Liking strategy going on in the head of the 58 car.
So starting approaching the upper limit of how far these guys can go on fuel.
So a couple more cars have hit pit lane. We see there's Ike in the 76. He's come down. There's the 25 of Ray Kingsbury and a few more drivers. I think that's Matt Kingsbury. Matt Kingsbury's still out on track. That is Dakota DiCienzo, who is now a lap down. But he's had an issue. And Ike returns to the racetrack. So let's go back up to the 2nd place battle, and Riley Thompson and Kinsella, they have both not pitted yet. We'll take a look at the stint so far. The top 6 have not come in and served. It's actually Rasmussen's the top driver that has made his pit stop already. So I don't know. I don't think the undercut's going to be worth almost anything because Joshua Chin just ran a 140.332. That's only a 10th off his best lap time. There's almost no fall off right now in the tires. But Joshua Chin's going to hit pit lane right here.
Yeah, here he comes on down. I got to imagine some of these other guys are going to probably either come in now or might try to stay out a little bit longer. We'll have to see. If anything, they can go maybe another lap. If they go anything beyond that, I'll be impressed.
So now the question is, where's Rasmussen in the 71? Still working his way through turn 15 and 16. So this is definitely not going to turn the lead over to the 71, but we'll see if he gains anything. I don't think he will, but we'll see.
He's about 40 some odd seconds behind before the pit sequence.
The top 3 have come on down to make that Chin, Thompson, and Kinsella.
Yeah, so he should come out probably 8 seconds back, 6 seconds back.
Well, there's Chin returning to the racetrack. And it's going to be a lot longer than that. Wow. Joshua Chin is really setting a crazy pace to keep up with. A lot more cars on pit lane. Kinsella and Thompson have just left. But Chin has an 11-second lead. This is going to turn into a blowout. I mean, he's got enough room to really make any mistake that he wants right now and still have plenty to spare. He's actually just put the 32 one lap down. That's Andrew Wood there in the number 32 car. So pit stop's completing here as Kinsella. Look at this battle. This is for 5th.
Whoa.
And a slide again for the 14. And bye-bye, Liam Quinn takes 2 for 1 there.
Yeah, let's see a replay of that. Actually, let's wait here because it's going to get spicy. As Levick going to look around the outside of Quinn into the hairpin. They go deep on the brakes. Who's going to give? Either driver. Whoa,
a little bit of wheel contact out of the hairpin. Drag race down to turn 10. The 44's got the preferred line here, but we'll see if Levick can respond in any way.
Gonna try to outbrake him on the outside. Don't break yourself.
Now on the curbs to the left. I think Quinn's got this, and he does. What a pass. Took half the lap to do it, but Quinn is on through to 5th. And now Levick is under attack from Kinsella from behind as well.
Should be cycled out, at least with our leaders.
Oh, look at the apex miss a little bit there by the 77. Brings Kinsella right into the mix. See the drivers going out wide into turn 16 just to try to arc out that line a little bit more, but now the slipstream for the 14 is really going to be the deciding factor here. Benstone's actually pulling away. Maybe the 14 running a higher downforce setup. Whoa. See him close on entry. I definitely think there's a fundamental setup difference between these two cars. Oh, he slides! Oh, man, that would have been a bad place to spin your car out. Kinsella's car is so on edge tonight. You see Chad Simpson hit pit lane. Got a little bit of rear wing damage as well, it looks like.
So he actually went 13 laps. Just shy of halfway. I think he was also one of the last drivers to come on down.
Yeah, I think pretty much. Oh, he misses his box there just by a little bit. Ray Kingsbury and Marshall Stanley, look at that behind him. That's Flynn Lazier in the 4. And Lazier set back early due to some collision out of turn number 17.
Yeah, he should only have to make one more stop. So this should kind of put him back on par with everyone else. So it was a decent recovery, all things considered.
Yeah, well, the problem is that everyone else has to make another stop too. So it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really give him any large advantage.
He didn't take a penalty, I guess, from that.
Right,
to
correct. Yes, other than the track position loss, which obviously already has hurt him.
So and
there he goes again.
No.
And he's going to back it into the tire barrier. He's got some significant floor damage as well. I imagine that's from that accident, but lose more time to the leaders. Just spun it up on exit.
Yeah. And also going back right behind him, Henry Bennett in the 007.
Yeah, this was a disastrous collision for him to have with his teammate, because Adam Blocker's still 3rd, and Bennett's back down in 14th after having to replace that longer to change rear wing assembly.
It took him extra 20 seconds in the pits compared to his other teammates. 15 seconds extra to fix that car back up.
Not what he needed, especially taking a look at the points picture. He needed to beat Blocker by a pretty significant margin to even make any kind of dent in that lead.
Considering also Kingsbury is nowhere near, is only going to expand Blocker's lead to over 2 races worth. So it's going to be a much taller order for Bennett to get back. He's going to have to hope that Blocker had some really rotten luck over the next 4 weeks.
So Henry Bennett back in 14th place. Brennan Lichtenberg in the number 10. And he's had okay pace, not incredible pace, but again, he didn't get a qualifying lap in, so this was always going to be a long night for him. Starting 22nd, slow but steady climb forward up to 15th right now. Always love the Broken Arrow logo on the side of these cars. Always wondered, it seems like you're jinxing yourself at a track like this to have Broken Arrow. We've seen a lot of cars have it. Flynn Lazier hits pit lane. I think this is actually his first stop. Or no, it's his first recorded stop on this run. So this will be his second stop. Now he can go, no, he can't go to the end from here. I don't think.
Yeah, no. That's...
Maybe just to repair damage. Could have gotten meatballed. I don't think that would be the case.
I mean, even if he had a meatball, I would have stayed on another lap. That car looked fine. So he's going to have to make another stop now.
We know who looks fine is Joshua Chin in the 93.
Yep. And he's going to keep going through Sunset here. When he comes back across the line, it's going to be halfway through this race.
Joshua Chin is absolutely on fire right now. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course led a significant portion of that race, had a 3 or 4 second lead towards the end, and we all thought that he had it in the bag. And then on the last lap, it was Zach Campbell in the 2 that was chasing him down and denied him the victory in the final 100 yards of the race. Just a slip and a slide for the 93, that Craig setup shop number 93 car, and it all went away.
Yeah, well, all he needs to do now is just not make a mistake. He can back it off quite a bit and still keep on pace. He's got a significantly faster car than anyone else in the field. It's still running almost half a second faster than everyone else.
Yeah, he's hit a setup for sure. There's Liam Quinn in the 44, Frank Levick in the 77, 8/10ths back. This is one of the closest battles we have on the racetrack. The other one, Matt Kingsbury and Tim Doyle. This is for 18th.
It's not been a really good race for the 11 of Tim Doyle. He was further up the order, so I think something might have happened to him.
Yeah, he did spin out earlier, I believe. But he started up in 15th, has dropped a couple spots back down to 19th now. It's so interesting to watch all these drivers take such different lines through Sunset Bend. It just feels wrong no matter how you take it. It's just such a weird shape. It's a challenge that all the drivers have to deal with tonight. John Downing, Niall McBride, this is for 16th place. I think it was the 40 that had just gotten by the 41, so trade that position. McBride, another driver that has had a bit of a struggle tonight, really hasn't been able to improve on his starting position.
Oh, no.
We gotta stop focusing on people. It's the commentator curse every single time. You know, so there's some nights when we miss every single accident, and there's other nights when it seems like we cause them. But the 41 spins out at turn number 3, loses a couple spots. And
yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
And there,
and right ahead, Matt Kingsbury goes for a little bit of a wild.
Whoa! That got a little dicey there.
Yeah, that did.
Go back and take a look.
Probably not going to be happy with Kingsbury the way he came back onto the track, but this is what happened to Kingsbury. Went off the track in the hairpin.
Yeah, just real slow. Then he gets back up to speed. He's got dirt on the tires.
Whoa!
And the 41 picked the wrong side of the racetrack to go to there, and
well, he didn't really have much of a choice.
No, he didn't. But either way, 21 got himself in a bit of a pickle there. The 41 has worked his way by now.
Kingsbury has something wrong with the car. Looks like he's significantly off the pace. Not sure.
I mean, unless he got the. I mean, again, he's got some floor damage to that right side. I don't really think that would affect him that much. But oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh man, I hate watching cars do that.
You're just kind of out of the groove and trying to get back on it.
Yeah, every time you see cars ramp up those curbs in turn 14 through 16, you have to think about all the components that are under the car, that carbon fiber, that floor that's underneath. Every time you damage that, that's aerodynamic performance lost, and it's not something you can fix. When you damage the tub of these cars, it's a total write-off. And the 21 is really struggling right now with his race car.
Yeah, you can see he's got severe understeer. I'm not entirely sure we think it's some floor damage.
Here's a guy we have not talked about all night long is Joe Branch in the 28. He started his night in 11th, currently 10th. Solid P10 run right now.
It doesn't seem like anything happened to him. I hope nothing bad happened to him, but it's having a solid run, like you're saying, inside the top 10.
We should pull the camera off it before something does happen to him.
Got Kingsbury in behind him trying to take that spot away. Also looking at David Adams.
Yeah, I think he has just gone for a little bit of an excursion. And here's a look. Exited turn 3, looped it, and just keeps it off the wall for the 88, but a struggle tonight for him. Oh, look underneath the car. See that orange cone, dragging a cone around, and this is not easy to get out from underneath, and this is going to severely hurt the performance of this race car, dragging that cone underneath.
He's got to hope that it just wedged itself into, I think, Tim Doyle.
No, Tim Doyle has it. Oh man.
Oh, I want to see that on a replay.
Oh god. I don't even. Does that work on a replay?
I hope so. I want to see that. See him play catch.
I'm trying to see if I think he's disposed of it now. Yeah. He's gotten rid of it. Let's check Niall McBride. I think we're good, but that was pretty entertaining. Let's go back. I don't think it. Oh, it does. Okay.
Oh wait, he just picked it up.
Oh, did I? Yeah, that's it.
It's right in the corner here.
Oh, you can see it, and then the 11's gonna just
catch.
Oh man, that's a helpless feeling. You can see how much it hurt. He got it up underneath the race car, but Tim Doyle has disposed of that cone and resets his chase on the 88.
Done that to iRacing stuff 10. I want to see that.
That was good.
I've never seen that. Where someone catches
That's
the cone.
first for me. Ray Kingsbury in the number 2500 actually just got by Joe Branch, and Branch is on the inside trying to take the spot back away, and 25 has it, up to 10th.
Yeah, I was going to say that line entering the corner that Branch is seeing, that's a really tough way to enter the corner, how to give it up.
How about this climb for the 25 tonight? Started in 25th, up to P10. Again, take a look at the points. He's third in the point standings, and with the season he's had, I wouldn't think he'd be anywhere close to third, but he's just been so good on the nights that he doesn't have issues, and tonight, it's been a good night for him, so just doing what you're doing, and you're going to gain ground at least on Henry Bennett with how Bennett's running right now back at 13.
And Kingsbury, our season opener winner at Pocono, won that race, and hasn't won a race since, but is still having a really good run, all things considered.
Rob Powers in his 47. We haven't talked about him yet tonight. I don't know what's happened to him, but he is a lap down.
Yeah, I think he started from the pits, if you want to say, or had something happen to him on the first. Yeah, he definitely didn't.
Well, his best lap also, he could have just missed the setup here, Finney. His best lap was almost 5 seconds slower.
No, because I was looking at the start. He was like 20 seconds behind on lap 1, unless something happened.
Well, I'm just saying his best lap time is way off.
Oh, yeah.
So I just don't think he must have missed the setup tonight, because it's not too fast for the 47 this evening. So only 2 cars out of this race. Actually make that 3. Dakota DiCienzo, Logan Simmons, Adam Plunkett, all with crash damage from earlier. The other 24 cars still running on the racetrack. Battle for 5th is beginning to heat back up. It's Levick and Kinsella. These guys have been around each other all race long.
Got a damaged car up ahead, and that's Stanley Ench in the green Spark VR car.
Oh yeah, big damage on the front wing.
Major damage to that front wing.
I have to imagine that's recent, because otherwise he would have come in to fix that, I would imagine. You wouldn't want to limp something like that back around. Oops. As Kinsella works his way through, gets a good run on Frank Levick. This is going to be a little dicey.
Oh yeah, this is not the best passing zone.
Oh man, I saw him going for that apex curve, and again, you'll high center yourself on that one.
Kinsella's going to have to wait a little bit longer to make that pass. He can set up a good run here up to Sunset.
Too much curb, but he'll have a decent run out. I just don't. He's got so much more downforce in this car than his competitors. As for Dan Ench, probably will come into pit lane this time by to fix that damage. We'll jump back up to this battle for 6th. Also, I don't know which one I want to watch. As the 77 hits pit lane, probably be second stop of the night, you think? As Rasmussen and Blocker close in on each other for second spot. The first battle for second we've had all night. This 71, first race of the season from our knowledge, and running a great race. Could have been here before, but I hadn't seen the name on the tower till now. So, first race for the 71.
A little bit of a lock up into the hairpin here, and Blocker all over him. Yeah, coming up on that second set of pit stops.
So Joshua Chin, all he's got to do is not crash out, and he's got this one locked up.
He's 17 seconds up the road here, and Blocker getting really close in behind the 71. If he makes another mistake, this could cost both of their chances at a podium.
Riley Thompson's 8.5 seconds back, so that's enough room to play around with, but if you crash yourself out, it's not going to matter how far back Riley Thompson is for that podium spot. 10 laps to go for Joshua Chin, who's 17 seconds up the road from the 71 and 74 who are trying to chase him down. Beyond that, it's just a long ways back.
Good to see these guys actually come to the pits on this lap.
Swerving back and forth. I don't know. This tells me he wants to go out another lap. Or maybe just trying to distance himself from Blocker before they hit pit lane.
Let's see here. Nope. Stay out on the lap.
Now, can Blocker undercut? Again, I don't think the undercut's worth anything today, or the overcut for that matter. I would just pit when you need to. I don't really think the tires are losing that much grip.
They are running a second slower.
Well,
than their
they
best,
are. I don't think Joshua Chin
No,
is.
for Chin, his setup is golden. Hasn't really had to deal with any dirtier as well, so.
I don't even think he's run a single lap over 1:40 so far. He's been absolutely rock solid consistent for this entire race. A little bit of lap traffic to deal with right now. I think that is Flynn Lazier. Yes, it is, in the number 4.
Struggling tonight in that Spark VR car. Had to make a stop. We think he might have to make another. Actually, he might not, because if Chin laps him, which he definitely is going to.
Yeah, it'll be a little closer at that point.
Yeah, he'll have one less lap. They can go 13.
Yeah, he will lap him. He's closed in quite a bit quicker, and we'll put him a lap down here eventually. Now, for Joshua Chin, you see all these lap cars up ahead. Don't put yourself in a bad position.
I would say pit now.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity. I mean, there's no reason to stay out any longer. You're not getting any advantage or disadvantage. Adam Blocker has gone through for second. And Kingsbury,
whoa, he's gone
Matt
for a
Kingsbury, and he'll get it back on course. Adam Blocker has gone through to second over Rasmussen.
Curious now, Blocker will try to stay out just with the cleaner air and try to pull away from the 71 here, because it looks like he's faster.
Oh, that was a little dicey at the exit of 16. He is a little bit quicker. That will put Adam Blocker up to P2. We talked about Chin working his way through traffic. He has done a good job with that so far. There's Lazier off course again behind him. And no runoff room here. There's no paved runoff, I should say. So if you drop a wheel off, you're going to have an exciting ride. Unlike places like Watkins Glen.
You're going to have, and if there is runoff, there's usually a big curve before you get to that runoff, and you end up coasting over that curve.
Well, you know what? Sometimes the curbs are a good thing because they keep you on track, but other times you have a more exciting experience with them. Rasmussen hits pit lane.
Yeah, not surprised here. Really best call for the 71. Got past, might as well try something on an undercut. Hope that it worked, so he'll be in for his pit stop.
No reason not to do this right now for him. Battles throughout the rest of the field, few and far between. There's Ray Kingsbury in 12th, Joe Branch in 13th right behind. Again, still another stop left for these guys. Or maybe that's not. Oh, no, they're done.
They're done. Pretty much the top 6, I believe, is yet to make their final stop.
Yep, and that is exactly correct. And Lichtenberg in 10th, as well as Chad Simpson, are the only other cars inside the top 15 that still need to hit lane.
I think Simpson's going to try to stretch it, but he's going to be 2 laps short.
Ray Kingsbury, Joe Branch still running 12th and 13th. Andres Ike has already hit pit lane. Henry Bennett comes in. Some smoke. Get a good look at it. This might have just been tire smoke.
Yeah.
This is going to be a disappointing night for him after such a strong run early. He will not be satisfied with this result. Liam Quinn and Kinsella, they've shuffled out the 77 somehow, and now it's just 44 and 14 fighting for P4 on the grid right now.
Up on some lap traffic.
Well, if I see that's a Sadi machine, that's the 88 of David Adams.
The leaders go on by, and you're going to let them continue their fight.
So 7 laps to go for Joshua Chin, and Adam Blocker hits pit lane from second, and I think Liam Quinn is also going to hit pit lane. Will he bring anybody else with him? No. Looks like Kinsella will stay out.
Simon Bryan also in the 22. He's going to come into the pits.
Yeah, the lone Sadi machine in the Sadi GP left running inside the top 10 right now. And up front, it's just all Joshua Chin. It's looked effortless today. I have not seen him drop a single wheel wrong. He's continuing to run lap times in the 140s. His last lap was a 140.305, less than 2/10 off what his best lap of the race is. So just absolute perfection of a race for the 93. Anything short of lap traffic getting in his way or making a massive mistake, he's got this one wrapped up. And finally, for him, after so long this season, battling to get one at a road course especially. And how close he came in Mid-Ohio, and he's looking forward to the next road course event as well. We got one more on the schedule. It's Road America coming up in a couple weeks. Kansas Road America, and then we finish out the season at Auto Club Speedway here in just a couple weeks. Road America, another relatively flat racetrack, and I wouldn't necessarily put it in the same category as Sebring, but Joshua Chin has been pretty much at all the road courses this year, so I don't really know if it matters how you classify it. This is for 8th place on the racetrack, Lichtenberg and Levick. I believe that Levick has already made his stop, and Lichtenberg has not, so really the top 3 and Lichtenberg, the only drivers in the top 10 that can still have to come to pit lane.
A little bit sideways on the gas. He's in behind Lichtenberg, and I believe Levick is good. Lichtenberg still has to make his final stop.
All right, so let's jump around here, find out some other battles going on. Henry Bennett and Flynn Lazier for 14th place. And
actually, Bennett's gone a lap down.
Yeah, this has just been a struggle for him tonight.
He will get that lap back, though, I believe.
Kinsella drops in, yes, because when Chin pits it, we'll give him that lap back. Kinsella in from 3rd. Riley Thompson still has yet to pit. And can't save enough fuel to make that work.
Yeah,
so.
no, the only driver close is Chad Simpson after going 13 laps.
And Flynn Lazier as well. But again, he's a lap down. Actually, as is Simpson, so it really doesn't make a difference. But Lazier, I think, still is a lap short. Lichtenberg and Levick, this is a fight for position. Again, the 10 still needs to hit pit lane, and he's going to just lay over and let the 77 have that spot now. There's Andrew Wood right behind him. This has been a struggle of a night. Really only had one minor issue down in the hairpin, but hasn't been able to recover from it.
It just really hasn't had the pace. Fastest lap for him is a 1:43.2. A lot of the leaders running 2-3 seconds faster.
And I think we walked into the night knowing it would be pretty setup intensive because of how bumpy this racetrack is, and the damper settings would be so important tonight. But this is a pretty big gap between the midfield and the back of the field. You see,
There's been a pretty big gap between Chin and the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's got everyone covered.
Yeah.
As Joshua Chin hits pit lane in the lead, so he comes on in. Joe Branch back in 12th place. He's got Marshall Stanley slowly tracking him down into 55.
Stanley's had a really quiet night from 18th to 13th.
A good solid run. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing particularly spectacular on this night either. But just trying to get some consistency back for a lot of these drivers is really the key. Again, we head to Kansas Speedway next week. Actually, 2 weeks from now, I believe. If you double check the schedule for me. Riley Thompson also in pit lane. We're at a road course now. We go oval, road course, oval to finish out the rest of the season. Stanley pops down a couple gears in through turns 14 and 15. Yeah, so 2 weeks from now, we'll head to Kansas Speedway. Then we'll go immediately to Road America. Then another week break. Actually, no, I think the last...
Yeah, no, it's a week break to Kansas Road America.
And then just straight up to... Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so in weeks of 2, how we've been doing this as Lichtenberg hits pit lane in the number 10. So Chin back out on the racetrack, and everyone up the front has cycled out, and that has left Adam Blocker 23 seconds behind Joshua Chin.
Yeah, he's nowhere even close to making that up in 5 laps. He'd have to make up... He could make up 4 seconds a lap and still be 2 seconds behind him at the finish, so just to kind of give you an idea of the gap.
Now, this battle for 5th, Liam Quinn, Andrew Kinsella, might be a little bit different. Kinsella's just popped out of pit lane and trying to close back in on the 44.
Kinsella is probably going to be kicking himself a little bit. Could have had a much better finish had he not made some of those mistakes he made. I think 2 or 3.
Yeah, probably could have been up in 4th. I don't think he had the pace for 3rd, but 4th or 5th he certainly could have had without having to fight for 5th. A bit late to get back on the throttle there behind Liam Quinn, but I think he's a little bit quicker pace-wise than the 44 tonight. Oh, big cut there for the 44 over the turn 15 curve. How wide they're going to drag all that rubber out there as well.
Quinn cut over the curve before it even ended, trying to get out wide.
4 laps to go at the front of the field with Joshua Chin, who's led every single lap, not counting the pit stop sequences, as Kinsella is now Liam Quinn in his sights as they jump over the bumps through turn 17. And for Quinn, a top 5 result is important, but you don't want to get yourself spun out. So you also have to think, is this worth fighting for at this point in the season? Maybe it is to the 44, but I'd be a little bit cautious of driving a little bit too hard here in the closing laps. We've seen Kinsella make a bunch of mistakes. I don't think you want to copy that necessarily.
Well, on the bright side, they are 8 seconds clear of the next car. So,
a little bit of a wiggle room there.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of pressure. Goes defensive, going to take the middle of the track. Kinsella going to go to the inside here, deep on the brakes into the hairpin.
Yeah, I think Quinn will just let him have this. Maybe try to cross him over and get it back, but I think...
Trying to build up a bit of a run here. It's going to be hard to make a pass through the section.
Defensive move for Kinsella! Whoa. Inches between them there into turn 10. What a move to the outside by Liam Quinn. That might be all for naught, though. Tucks back in behind Kinsella. Has the spot, slides on exit. Wow, these two have been going at it all race long. I thought it was going to be over for a moment, but Kinsella got in front and started reverting back to the mistakes that he made earlier in the night. And looks like Flynn Lazier has hit pit lane yet again. Ooh, that was a little more dramatic than it had to be. But now Kinsella up to 5th.
Disastrous for Kinsella.
So, this race so far has been all in the hands of this man right here. No one's touched him. We've run 26 laps. He's led every single one. And rolls through turn 3 now. Next time by will be 2 laps to go, just over 7 miles when he gets back around to the start-finish line. Good on fuel, good on pace. There's really nothing left for anybody to take away from him right now. Greg set up shop on the side of this car.
Yeah, the funny thing too, he was just his last lap through, he was 2/10 off his best lap, so he's still putting us very, very solid pace down.
Now, I don't know if Craig Setup Shop builds the setup that Joshua Chin is using, but if they do, this is an excellent advertisement for them tonight.
I don't know, I would be amazed if that kind of setup was released to everyone else, but I still though they do make some really good setups regardless.
I just have not seen him even kick up an ounce of dirt this entire race, and he's been running breakneck lap times. It's just incredible. I mean, I know that in the past we've seen guys dominate races, but this is domination to the point of spitting on the people behind him and stomping in their face. This is absolute, just crushing it tonight. I mean, there's no one even close to him right now. Close to him, though. Liam Quinn on Kinsella, trying to fight back. Bit of a bobble into turn 10.
Got squirrely on the brakes there for Quinn, trying to get the spot back in 3. He's determined to fight with Kinsella after they made some wheel-to-wheel contact, and it's still not over between them.
Kinsella, if you're Quinn, you got to keep the pressure on Kinsella because you've seen him crack under pressure a couple times tonight. So keep exploiting that throughout the rest of the race. Going back to 2 laps to go for Joshua Chin. Next time by, it'll be the last lap of the race. Just over 100 miles a night, and Joshua Chin has led every single lap of it. Jumping back to that 5th place battle, though, a little bit of a slipstream for Quinn as he tries to close back in and spook the 14 maybe. Tries to dive underneath in 17, a bit of a slide through the middle of the corner and can't get the power down. They're both wide on exit, using every inch of this racetrack. I think it's like 100 feet wide there. I think it was 101 feet.
Yeah, you got a little bit of the grass there, almost into the wall. It went out so wide. He's going to have to be a little bit careful on how much he pushes.
Oh, man, you can tell he's got every ounce of downforce he could possibly use in operation here. But this is where Kinsella's been fast, but also has made the most mistakes. Big understeer for the 44.
This is the apex there, loses some time. Got another lap and a half left to go.
Into the braking zone for, ooh, a bit of a bobble.
He's really pushing it there, went out to the grass, got on it.
Oh, Kinsella
with a mistake, and that's going to cost him.
Yep, and again, it's just been too many mistakes for the 14 tonight. He just cannot stay consistently quick. It's so frustrating to watch. I think David Adams has gone around again. This is another driver that seemed to struggle tonight. And the problem is Kinsella's pace is so good, but he just can't keep it up without turning himself around. Here's David Adams. Off into turn 10. He's just going to too much power on exit and slide and just tap the barrier.
Should be all good from that.
As he goes and lets Liam Quinn on by. But up front, Joshua Chin in the number 93, 3.7 miles away from his first victory of the season. After disappointment at Mid-Ohio earlier this year, losing by an inch. Today, if he finishes this lap, he'll win by a mile.
I was going to say, he's going to win by a lot of inches now. I guess this is going to be... He's definitely going to make up for what happened in Mid-Ohio. I'm sure he would like to have 2 victories to his name, but I think definitely this one, the sheer domination alone will make up for it.
Drivers remember the races they lost a whole lot more than the races they won, but today will be a pretty memorable day for Joshua Chin.
Over 20 seconds.
I mean, this is... He's dangerous heading into Road America. This is got to be the car that you circle, especially with Zach Campbell not here today. I don't know if Campbell will be at Road America, but really, if we go to a road course, it's going to be Joshua Chin and Adam Blocker really are the drivers to beat now. Nicholas Rasmussen has something to say about that now, but Chin has put on a phenomenal show this season. Should have won Mid-Ohio had he not made that final corner mistake. Now only a couple corners left for Joshua Chin. It has been an absolute clinic that Joshua Chin has put on. And every driver will be looking at this and saying, okay, Road America, we know who we need to beat now. But I think there's a lot more drivers that are points racing right now than just trying to go for victories. But if you win, the rest will take care of itself.
Indeed, so coming through the straightaway, he's got one more turn to go through Sunset Bend, and he's going to see the checkered flag.
Joshua Chin, one final corner through Sunset Bend, over the bumps for Joshua Chin. The disappointment at Mid-Ohio is exchanged for celebration in Florida. Joshua Chin wins the Sadi GP, round number 9 of the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series season by 23 seconds over second place Adam Blocker, who will continue to extend his points lead heading into next week's race at Kansas.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting pretty. He's going to extend it by quite a bit. Henry Bennett currently sitting in 12th before they come back to the line second for Adam Blocker. Nicholas Rasmussen, great run for him for his first start of the season in 71.
Spectacular first run. Riley Thompson almost got back to him, though, at the start-finish line. Only a couple tenths separate them. Thompson, a great top 5 result for him. Liam Quinn fought the battle and won the war with Andrew Kinsella. Comes across the line, takes the last top 5 spot.
Yeah, Kinsella will finish in 6th place, and then moving on back, Simon Bryant come home in 7th.
Come on through to the start-finish line. But for Joshua Chin, you got to look at this and say this is some miraculous momentum to have heading into Road America here in a couple weeks. I don't really know if this means a whole lot for Kansas in a couple weeks, but Road America for sure. This is the car you got to circle. But a great race for him, and props to the setup builders. If it was Chin or otherwise, they had this car on rails tonight.
Yeah, the funny thing too, if you look at that car, look how clean it is.
Doesn't have a speck of dirt on it. It doesn't have a scratch on it.
It's just because really he wasn't in behind Henry one except for lap cars, because he was just as soon as the green flag dropped, just took off and never looked back.
Here's a look at your race results. Chin, Blocker, Rasmussen, Thompson, and Quinn, your top 5. 28 laps of this race, all led by Joshua Chin. No lead changes tonight. Chin completely dominated start to finish.
That's actually, I think, a first. A race without a single lead change?
I feel like we probably have seen it before. But at least the first time this season for these guys, at the very least, as they come across the start-finish line. Adam Plunkett, again, a disappointing night. Logan Simmons, Dakota DiCienzo all crashed out. Everyone else within 2 laps of the leader. But a nice, solid race for several of the points drivers. Now, Henry Bennett's going to be very frustrated with his night.
He's going to be frustrated his night and also frustrated at a certain someone.
Yeah, well, again...
that kind of ruined his night.
It was already a long shot, but it's going to be almost impossible now. I mean, he's got to have to make up so many points in the next 3 races. He needs to count on Blocker wrecking out of it, at the very least, Kansas and Auto Club entirely, and probably have to hope for a pretty miserable race at Road America as well. Chin celebrating in the runoff area. Finally gets it done. We'll be back in just a couple moments with your race winner and a couple other drivers. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay with us.
To get the best result, it's all about ambition, hard work, and doing the right things right. In 1982, 2 Dutch brothers invented an automatic way to time RC races. The system of the company, called AMB-IT, was quickly adopted by pro racing series like NASCAR and IndyCar. Automated timing for mass participation sport events was also invented in the Netherlands by Champion Chip in the early 90s, giving athletes a personal chip time of their performance. In 2008, the 2 companies joined forces, and MYLAPS Sports Timing was born. We never stop innovating with state-of-the-art timing systems and digital services to enhance the event experience. With our X2 platform, we bring motorsports timing to a whole new level with 2-way communication. Our event app and photo video create the ultimate event experience for athletes and fans, with live data and personal content like photos and videos. SpeedHive provides a pro-level racing experience for amateur and club events by analyzing personal data. We capture performances of over 20 million racers and athletes every year and use live data to spark emotions. MYLAPS. Experience progress.
Welcome back live to SimTV here now with fifth place finisher Liam Quinn in the number 44. Liam, tonight, a battle from the start of the race. Started ninth, finished fifth. A great battle there with Andrew Kinsella at the end. You won the battle and the war. Walk us through the start of the race and the closing laps there with the 14.
Oh yeah, that was fun. My pace before the race, like in practice, I didn't feel it wasn't really up to scuff, but I felt like the grip was there, and I thought when the race actually started, I'd be up to scratch. So I qualified pretty much exactly where I thought I would. There's a bit of trouble ahead, and I noticed Frank and Andrew weren't as fast as I first thought. I think Andrew at the end really, he was crazy fast. So I think I got a bit lucky to keep him behind, and it was I think we banged wheeled a few times, but no one gets damaged, no one gets hurt. It's all fair game.
This racetrack so bumpy, so challenging to set up a race car for. When you were setting yourself up for this race, how worried were you about the bumps around here, especially when you're in traffic?
You've got to be worried about it, but it's one of the first things we tune out. And Josh, to his credit, made a really good set, and it was absolutely solid over the bumps, especially through turn 1 and sunset. It was absolutely smooth as anything smooth.
All right, 44, Liam Quinn, fifth place tonight. Solid finish, another top 5 for the 44 team. Liam, thanks for talking. We'll see you at Kansas.
Thanks, man.
Moving on now to Nicholas Rasmussen in the number 71 car. Started the night in second place, I believe, in that 71. Nicholas, a great first round for you in that Spark VR team. You got to be thrilled with the podium finish in your first race. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, pretty stunned to be up here, to be honest. I got very limited experience in the IndyCar, and obviously I was fortunate enough to join the Last Lap Motorsport guys, build a fantastic car, and I had a ton of fun out there. Like, I still do not know how I got up to this position, so I just got to thank everybody from the team for the massive work that they put into this.
Of course, this racetrack's so bumpy and so challenging. Did you make any adjustments over the course of the race to tune in the car, or were you pretty much just racing with what you had?
I was just racing with what I had because I was forced to, because earlier today my main reel rim actually broke, and I had to use my backup one, which have very limited buttons. So I just decided to just find a setup or some settings that fitted fairly well over a run, and then just run with it and see if I could make it work, and it was pretty good.
Also, the start of the race, pretty frantic there. When you were setting up on that pace lap, you have a lot of time around here to think about that race start. What was your plan going into turn 1 if things didn't go as smoothly as they ended up going?
Well, it's difficult, really. I knew I was on the outside, so that's always a vulnerable spot. Like, you can obviously get a good run there, but in case you get pushed just a little bit, you're pretty much done. So it was really just to survive, make sure I had no contact with people. And yeah, I actually got a pretty good run out of 3. So I was able to keep second for the time being. But the plan was just to survive, to be honest, stay out of trouble and finish my first race here.
All right, Nicholas Rasmussen in the 71. Third place after starting second. A strong run for the first round for you this season, Nicholas. Congratulations. And hopefully we'll see you around again.
Absolutely will, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Have a great night. Moving on now to second place, Adam Blocker, and he finished second tonight, extends his points lead, but it wasn't without a little bit of drama towards the middle of the race. Adam, some contact with your teammate, put him down the order. He ended up finishing 12th. You extend your points lead with only 3 races left in the season. Walk us through your night, that contact, and moving forward to next week.
Yeah, so obviously, I just missed. I had problems seeing some of the cones when the track got shady, and I just flat out missed. I braked a cone too late and smashed into the back of him. It was 100% my fault. Feel bad about it. But yeah, besides that, Henry, Andrew, and I were really struggling with setup. We pretty much ditched the setup that we had like an hour before the race, and I went back to our Laguna Seca setup and just made some changes and made it work. And Andrew went to the Road America setup, and we were kind of scrambling. So yeah, not ideal, but definitely happy to get second out of that still. I think Nicholas had a little bit of damage after contact with the lap car, so that helped me get past him. Yeah, so and I don't think I personally had anything Richmond anyway, even if I had a clean race. So
of course, you extend your points lead, only 3 races left in the season. Is there any sense of concern for you in these last 3 races? I mean, you have a pretty sizable points lead. Is there any way conceivably that you could give this points lead away in the final 3 races?
Well, I imagine I'll probably have to start from the back in Kansas, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, as long as I can get a decent finish at Kansas and Road America, I should be good. So that's just kind of the goal. If I can do that, then I shouldn't have to worry about Auto Club.
Adam Blocker in the 74, second place tonight, extends his lead. We'll see you at Kansas, Adam. Have a good night.
Yeah, see ya.
And winner, chicken dinner. Joshua Chin driving the number 93 car tonight. Finally, redemption from Mid-Ohio, Josh. Start to finish, absolutely dominated that race. No one even was close to you. A win over 23 seconds. You got to be absolutely thrilled with that, but does that make up for Mid-Ohio?
Yeah, a little bit. It was nice to have a race just go start to finish, no problems. After lap 2, no one was really close, and they start battling back there. So it was nice to just kind of walk away and have a nice, easy race by all means.
Of course, we got Road America coming up in a couple weeks, and I wouldn't say it's similar to Sebring, but how do you feel about your chances there, considering that you've been in the hunt for pretty much every road course race this season?
I feel pretty good about it. Road America last time around the car was really good, and I made a lot of errors and threw away an easy win. But I think this time around, be a little bit better. Learned some new things since then, and hopefully the car is fast because this car was on rails today.
Of course, so we have a couple more races that are not road courses as well. Kansas in 2 weeks, and then the season finale at Auto Club Speedway. Your thoughts on those last 2 oval races, and what do you think about your shot to maybe grab a couple more points positions there?
I'm not entirely sure about how Kansas is going to go because I've never run it in this car. But Auto Club, I think, will go well. Especially with it being a triple crown race, that's an opportunity to make up a lot of points. I think I jumped up to 6th tonight. I'm definitely not in contention for the title. I think Adams essentially got that unlock if he just finishes the next 2 races. But second place is up for grabs. I'm 70 points back, so just have to make the most of Auto Club and kind of survive Kansas and make it through that race.
Joshua Chin absolutely dominated, led every single one of the 28 laps tonight. Josh, congratulations. We'll see you in Kansas in 2 weeks.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the broadcast, and hope you guys enjoyed the race too.
Absolutely. So much. We'll see you later. All right, Finian, that concludes the broadcast here from Sebring International Raceway. Your thoughts on a pretty interesting race all around, some strategy there, but Joshua Chin completely obliterated everybody, and I think he's probably going to do something similar at Road America in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure guys like Blocker, Kinsella, Bennett, that whole team, they're going to try to come up with some sort of strategy and probably better set up to try to compete with the Chimera, with the 93 Chimera, because Chin was just on another level, so they're really going to have to come up with something to try to beat him.
Well, they're going to have to figure something out. In 2 weeks, we head to Kansas Speedway. That's a big unknown here for the IndyCar. Not a track that a lot of people have associated with IndyCar racing in the last 15 or 20 years. So that is going to be something to watch 2 weeks' time from now. Off tomorrow night, 3 wides off for a few weeks until we get into their Triple Crown events. But Tuesday, we've got 3 races going on again. Grid Life UK Tour. They're heading to Donington National Circuit with the Global MX-5, as well as the Mission 22 Cup Series on SimTV2, returning with more Cup Series action this week. From where
Charlotte.
Charlotte, thank you. And as well as the modified Speed 51 series heading to their next round on Tuesday night at 7:45 p.m. That will be on www.speed51.com/elite modified tour from Gateway. On Wednesday, the Washington, D.C. region SCCA fires back up again for their 3rd round of the season at Lime Rock Park. And then, of course, Thursday night, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be the Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series from Watkins Glen International, a home track for us. We'll see you there, and we'll see you tomorrow, or Tuesday night, rather, with Elite Modified at 7:45. Thanks so much for watching. Congratulations to Joshua Chin, Adam Blocker, and Nicholas Rasmussen for finishing on the podium. We'll see you at Kansas in 2 weeks.